My lords, pray be seated. My lords and burgesses, His Majesty, not thinking fit personally to be present here at this time, has been pleased to cause a commission to be issued under the Great Seal, and thereby given his royal assent to divers acts, the titles whereof are particularly mentioned, and by the said commission has commanded me to declare and notify his royal assent to the said several acts in the presence of you, the lords and burgesses assembled for that purpose, and has also assigned to us, and other lords directed, full power and authority in his Majesty's name to dissolve this present Parliament, which commission you will now hear read. Erik, King of the Sconnish, Emperor of all the Glennons, to our right trusty and right well beloved, the Lords Temporal of our realm, to our trusty and well beloved, the knights, citizens, and burgesses, together in this present Parliament assembled, greeting. Forasmuch as in our said Parliament divers acts have been agreed and accorded upon by you, our loving subjects, the lords and burgesses, in this present Parliament assembled, and endorsed by you as has been accustomed, the short titles of which are set forth in the schedule hereto. Yet the said acts are not of force and effect in the law, without our royal assent given and put to the said acts. And forasmuch as we cannot at this time be present in the house of our said Parliament, that being the accustomed place for giving our royal assent to such acts as have been agreed upon by you, our said subjects, the lords and burgesses, we have therefore caused these our letters patent to be made and have signed them, and by them to give our royal assent to the said acts, willing that the said acts shall be of the same strength, force, and effect as if we had been personally present in the said house of our Parliament, and had publicly, and in the presence of you all, assented to the same. And also commanding our right imperial and right entirely beloved cousin and counsellor James Richard Edward George, Prince of the Glennish Empire, our right trusty and entirely beloved cousin and counsellor, the Right Honourable Ade Putu, Marquis of Avebury, etc., our Lord High Chancellor, our Right Honourable and right well beloved cousin and counsellor Lucy, Countess of Stirlington, our right honourable and right well beloved cousin and counsellor Robert James, Earl of Ravensthorpe, and our trusty and beloved counsellor, the Honourable and Reverend Sir Nicholas Hodgkinson, to declare this our royal assent in the House of Parliament, in the presence of you, the said lords and burgesses, and the clerk of our parliaments, to endorse the said acts in our name as is requisite, and to record these our letters patent, and the said acts in the manner accustomed. And we do declare that after this our royal assent given and declared as aforesaid, then and immediately the said acts shall be taken and accepted as good and perfect acts of Parliament, and be put in due execution accordingly. And whereas we did lately for divers difficult and pressing affairs concerning us, the state and defence of our kingdom of Scone, ordain this our present Parliament to begin and be holden at our city of Tartanac, the 28th day of October 2021, on which day our said Parliament was begun and holden, and is there now holden. And whereas we have been duly advised by our Privy Council that the business of this session of our Parliament, and indeed of this very Parliament altogether, is now in every wise finished and complete, we do herewith dissolve this our Parliament accordingly, and our lords and burgesses are discharged from further attendance thereat. And we, being desirous and resolved, as soon as may be, to meet our people once again, and to have their advice in Parliament, do hereby make known to all our loving subjects our royal will and pleasure to call a new Parliament, to be holden at Aldkirk on the 28th day of October, 2022, upon which date we do command each and all of you to reassemble here with us for the despatch of business, to treat, do, act, and conclude upon those things that in our said Parliament, by the Common Council of Scone, may by the favour of God be ordained. In witness whereof we have caused these our letters to be made patent. Witness ourselves at Aldkirk, the 3rd day of October 2022, in the 3rd year of our reign. By the King himself, signed with his own hand. My lords and burgesses, in obedience to his Majesty's commands, and by virtue of the commission which has now been read, I do declare and notify to you, the lords and burgesses in Parliament assembled, that his Majesty has given his royal assent to the following act. The Assurance of Scottish Religious Freedom Act 2022. Le roi le veult. My lords and burgesses, thus far the words and will of His Majesty the King, granting his royal assent and commanding the dissolution of this Parliament. God save the King.